I downloaded that Punishing Gray Raven is what I did.
Oh my god.
And I went through that tutorial is what I did.
Oh yeah, I was the only thing I wanted to know is like, okay, I'm gonna get into Devil May Cry, Punishing Gray Raven, and I'm like, did they update the tutorial thing at all from like the 10-year-old absolute pile of shit that I played through just last year?
So,
and the answer is gonna be no, isn't it?
So when this got announced, I started checking it out, and I think I talked about it, looking into before it came to North America. And then I saw, oh shit, it's out. Okay, let's go see what's going on. And installed it, and this is the most I've ever like in Nikkei. I kind of still read the text a bit. I completely ignored every single bit of dialogue. Like,
what about Punishing Gray Ravens?
There's a virus. It's bad. Or that's it. That's what I got. There's a bad virus. In the meantime, here's your waifus. Here's your husbandos. And yeah, then there's the Devil May Cry, event, and those are really, once again, really good models. They did an incredible job, Faithful, with that. Why, Wooly? Because I don't care about that shit. That's why I'm here for Dante and Virgil. Fuck out of here.
So I'm gonna raise my hand.
Yeah.
This is something I genuinely, like, universally don't understand about the way certain people, and you're like a really good example of this, interact with crossover content in a side game. So I think about like the Nier raid, right? And I think about this and that, and it's like, yeah, get the shit out of my face. And when you're saying get the shit out of my face, it's like 99.9% of the total game. I want to get to this thing. But like, when you get to the thing, you still have to interact with it inside the context of the 99% of the shit you don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, and I'm aware of that.
Isn't that like inherently self-defeating?
Not really, no. I can still get the character, try it out, see how it feels, see what's going on with it, and ultimately understand that I skipped past context, but I'm just here to check out gameplay and see how that's doing.
Okay, so you're not getting in, you're just like, I want to touch this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not getting in.
See, now that makes more sense.
Yes,
to me.
Yes, anyway. And in particular, when it's the type of crossover event that is like this with a gacha game, where you're like, oh, it's going to be a event that's contained to a space that has a series of missions and a series of unlocks and things that are all and points based on this event. And then there's the other stuff that you can go select elsewhere. It's easy to kind of like look at just the folder with the event going on and go like, yeah, I'm looking at this particular Devil May Cry themed content, versus a game where the integration is much more overlapped and like, if you kind of were like, I'm going to play Nocturne for Dante and only Dante, that'd be pretty rough.
Let me ask
you'd have a hard time with that one.
I'm going to ask based off of completely having no knowledge whatsoever. In Punishing Gray Ravens crossover with Devil May Cry characters with Dante, and Virgil, I think I saw that. Can you kiss them?
You can get your relationship.
Okay, that's more. No, that's more than no.
You can pet them, and you can increase their relationship points to make them say nice things about you.
Ooh.
So you can get real close. I don't think Virgil would ever accept a kiss, but you can get in there. You can get him to blush. You can get him to kind of like be a little shy, and you can get him to pull out his poetry book and read to you.
Can you get him to do the caramel dance? Like his goddamn Devil Trigger does?
No, I don't. I didn't see that yet. I don't think so. But you can get that shot of him basically sitting on the chair, and it's not the chair because it's just the Clifod tree, but they've reshaped the Clifod tree to look more like the chair.
Are you serious?
It's not the full shot. It's not the full chair blocking his view. It's like it looks more like the lawn chair. They're super aware.
The lawn chair has become so ever present that I have seen two different people become legitimately confused when they get to the end of the game because they're like, what? Where's his chair?
Yeah, exactly. And he gets up and he does, and he also does, and it goes right into the Monster Energy shot, as well. So they know what people want to see. I'm surprised I didn't see with Dante. It's not canon yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we gave it a minute and we saw his Jujutsu Kaisen dance where he's fucking. This one, and he's got the pizza, and then Virgil's like, ah, yeah. I bet you that's gonna become canon in a minute. But anyways, so they have that integrated into the game. You can go unlock them and stuff. So for Dante, you can play and then eventually unlock him after completing a certain mission for free. And then for Virgil, you gotta roll. You gotta take your chances, get your thing or whatever. So I dolphined, I dolphined. All right, I said, all right, here, let's see it. I'm here for this. I'm a tourist, and I got him. And thankfully wasn't as bad as I was potentially expecting it could go based on the numbers, but I bought one of those. It was, I guess, 40 USD collection gem sets, and then got him in like the second roll or so, and I was like, okay, cool, done. Let's try this out. And it is really interesting to see the integration into how they make it work. So for one, I mentioned it before, but like this is really, really lovingly crafted in the sense that like they're clearly, this Devil May Cry has inspired a lot of these characters and stuff going on in this, and this is one of the games with a lot of Virgil daughters, so to speak. So they have made sure to want to do it as much justice as possible. And yeah, the line reads, all the extra bits, everything they're saying, a lot of the little like lore things, these are all taking place in a context that's like post DMC5, so there are like line reads that are similar to stuff that was said in 5, but then tweaked with a little bit of like, but now that the game is over and we're here at the end, like I know this about myself or that about myself, so it's kind of like treated as if it's happening after the game. Excuse me. Translating the characters into the PGR system is really odd. It's interesting because essentially you have you have a ground dodge button, then you have a ground attack button, right, for all your mobile, like whatever.
And I did not play much Punishing Gray Raven. I don't remember anything.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, so treat it like any of these like mobile gacha character action things, where it's like you got a stylish ground evade move, you got a stylish hit this one button to do combo thing, and then you have abilities. There's like usually 4 that you're gonna kind of cycle through that are gonna go up, that are gonna line up in your like abilities queue. And then you'll have like a big special you can do, with I guess a trigger button or like on the phone or something else. I connected my controller to the phone to play, which helps as well to be able to be let's move around with the stick, let's move around with the camera. I played all
that shit on a PC client.
Exactly. I also loaded up the PC client and did that too. So I tried phone.
I remember PGR's PC client was like, I technically live on PC. I'm still an unoptimized pile of shit. But here we go.
Yeah, it had to download 40 gigs for some weird reason. I don't know what was going on. And then after that, it started up and then updated again, and then started up and then updated another. It's very, very not well done. But once the game's playing, and then I'm like, okay, cool, this is fine. The only thing I was having issues with was the VSync was like pretty terrible. But I was thinking,
it's just a tiny little indie dev. They can't be expected to.
You'd think that's like, it's like, oh, this thing that runs on the phone, would have less trouble in this situation. But in any case, converting the characters over is really interesting because Virgil is 3 weapons, right? They've gotten more complex over time, but for the most part, you have your button to cycle through them, and then tapping that same button also does one of the key feature moves, and you more or less have the kit translated over into a version of Virgil that has like a Beowulf button, and then a Force Edge button or Mirage Edge button, you know, and then a Yamato button type of thing. And then Devil Trigger also acts as Judgment Cut End, you know, once you've popped, and then you go into it as well. So like they kind of put some multiple functions on the same thing, but overall it works. And then the fourth skill is jump or trick up, right?
Okay.
So this is not a game where people are really running around and jumping, but for the Sparta Bros, then yes, because that's part of their kit. So then, of course, getting an airborne lets you modify the moves to get airborne versions of things, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, and I played a couple of the other characters in the game just to kind of get a base feeling for what was going on and how that translates over, and it was pretty smartly done. All in all, you can do the Sun High Legend combo. You can do most of the swag things you would expect to be able to do with Virgil. Just you have to kind of like put your brain into like a different place. It's almost like learning to use a different stick or something. But it's all very, very possible and really well implemented. In fact, Sun High did do the combo, did the Virgil combo down to like the spinning taunt, juggling on S rank and everything, you know. And then you get to Dante, and it's like...
I feel like Dante's a million times harder to translate.
Oh, man. Dante game's like, look, man, we're gonna try, but just don't get mad, okay?
I feel like there aren't enough buttons to even do...
Impossible.
Even do Sword Master Devil Sword Sparta by itself.
You cannot. You just...
Let alone...
You can't do anything else. No. So you've got the Devil Sword Sparta button. Devil Sword Dante button. And then you've got the... Like, there's no... Fuck style switching, right? You've got a, like... You've got a essentially, like, weapon and style locked together in one button that you can switch to, you know? And it's not like it's struggling. It's basically like you press that, and then you'll be doing the gunslinger ability with the particular gun, and that's all you're getting out of that. You're not getting any sort of like free switch or whatever the case is. It's a fraction of his kit, as you'd imagine. And I get it, because I don't think the game is built for that too much, you know?
It's not. It's built for you to chill on the toilet with, man.
Yeah, they did what they could, and from checking out some of the other characters, there's definitely characters that go through like phases of having their kits change according to, you know, getting into certain states with them. There was one... so two of the ones I was looking at was like Watanabe Epitaph, who is somebody who does a bunch of stuff, gets into one phase, and then his whole kit changes. And with Dante, you're like, yeah, that's his Devil Trigger. He already has that. So to then go do that extensively on each one, it was just... It's not the same Dante. It is highly limited, but you can be stylish. You can do some stuff. But for sure, Virgil fans are eating way, way better than anyone who's trying to pick Dante in this game. And similarly...
I think this is kind of how it was always going to have to go based on the limitations of a phone game.
I think so. And similarly, I think Nero could also work as a simple moveset character, you know, where like switching arms is kind of like the most complex it would get, but Dante just can't.
Sword, gun, arm, switch arm. Would be your buttons.
Yeah. But I would also say that like a group of devs that cared less about these characters would have tried way less as well. You know, this is an extremely reasonable compromise, given that they could have just went like, look, man, you get one, leave me alone, you know? I'm sure it's better than fucking Pinnacle of Combat, you know? By not switching off these things into 15 or 20 different Dantes to pick from, right? And then you know, I've seen I haven't done it a bunch of it, but there's definitely like, you know, hang out with them, pet them, feed them gifts, go into the tunnel of love, You know,
I'm
have
looking at screenshots of Virgil actually sitting in the plastic lawn chair for realsies in chibi mode.
okay, I didn't see that. I just saw the Clifod version.
I'm also seeing some kind of pose builder where you can get the chair for your other characters,
There you go.
which is fucking so stupid because like that chair has nothing to do with Devil May Cry.
No, they know everything you want to see. Yeah. Even the fucking Dante slicking his hair back. The legend continues doing the make fun of Virgil pose. He's even got that in there, you know. So yeah, honestly, like, and I haven't gone through all the content, but just at the baseline level of just picking the characters and just trying them out and seeing what's going on, pretty well done. And not to mention, of course, it's definitely one of these more stylish, you know, mobile gacha character action style things as well. Like even the baseline characters are doing cool stuff, and I can see why this and Zenless, you know, were getting recommended. In particular here as well, I think like there's like 3 or 4 different katana wielding, judgment cutting, time slowing picks to go
like
with.
Virgil is like canonical, despite the fact that Nero is you know here.
Mm-hmm.
Like Virgil's daughters have propagated amongst the gacha populace.
Yeah,
like, it's a really specific archetype.
And I guess, you know, now that this is a metric that matters, from boot up to mash past all the daily screen poison is quicker than other games have been. So I appreciate that I only get, you know, I don't know, 10 seconds of than a full minute of it. So yeah, I'll go explore a little bit more of that.
Those games would be really fun for me to play on my phone if I didn't have the brain disease that made them completely horrible for me in every single way.
Didn't you get the phone controller?
No, not that brain disease.
Oh,
the brain disease of I never got that character.
Oh, yeah. Well,
the brain disease that they built their entire empires on.
Which is why being a tourist for this particular game works perfectly, because I can not give a fuck about whoever I missed after or before this. You know, I'm literally just here for this moment only.
I played Uma Musume for like 2 weekends and never spent a dime, and was like, yeah, fun horse game. And then dropped it because it wasn't activating my disease brain.
Yeah.
So
how about that?
I think there's only one game I ever played for a really long time on my phone and felt good about it, and I never spent any money on it either, and it was Runeterra.
Yeah. Okay.
It was Legends of Runeterra, the card game.
Well, I was going to say the whole conversation about that game has been like, look how generous it is, right?
Yeah, and then they went broke.
But it's fucked up to say that, like, hey, this game you enjoyed is not being toxic enough to you. Therefore, you're not spending as much time and money on it.
Hey, listen, that's actually listen.
Encouraging the toxicity is wild, dude. There is a secondary part of this where it's like there's a whole lot of language as well for these things, which is like, I guess there's like weapons to unlock and stuff as well, but ratings, rankings, duplicates. You for every Dante you get a second Dante free, or I'm like, yeah, I don't.
How many horse cards you got, bro?
I mean, look, if I can go into the mission and pick the one that I want and do the full moves, then I'm good.
How many times do I have to roll until Dante will play Goo Goo Babies?
I think like 5.
Yeah, you gotta roll many Dantes for Goo Goo Baby time.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm happy that I was able to get exactly what I wanted to fairly quickly and not like look at any of the other things here, but I seeing that there's like, oh, here's these social lines if you want to go hang out and get all that dating stuff or whatever.
Hang out.
If you want all that dating stuff or whatever, it's like, yeah, with these 2 fucking goobers, I kind of do. I do want to see those lines.
With these 2 massive losers,
hanging out with each other, having their conversations, and them being all like Sun Sun, because it's like, I guess, again, like it's them basically post hell being like, oh, he's here too.
I don't know if it's part of news, but people are mentioning it in the chat. Have you been following up on what's happening with P5X?
No.
So did we talk about P5X at all?
Yes, we talked
about Subway Slammer.
We talked about Subway Slamming, and then we talked about how the new writing team took over after that and hated everything that came before.
Okay, and that's it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so P5X is in the process of being actively destroyed by Sega and being run directly into the ground to death.
Why?
So let's take Uma Musume, right? So Uma Musume released 3-4 years ago, right? And they want to catch international people up. So they are on an accelerated schedule, right? So events that were 6 weeks, now they're 4 weeks, that kind of thing. But to compensate for that, everybody's got like double experience, double everything forever until it's caught up, right? P5X said, hey, so we're going to accelerate it super, super fast, but also we're going to cut all the free stuff you get in half or less. So your actual free ass purchasing power is like 20% of what it was, because we want to drag as much money out of you as possible.
Oh,
but it's gotten even worse.
Oh,
because they put out, oh god, I the details are a little fuzzy, but basically they put out a promotion where you'd get like a small catch-up item, but the item would count towards your like weekly totals. So if you accepted it at the beginning of the week, you just couldn't earn anything in game at all.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Yeah, like as we were just discussing, that exact FOMO toxicity button.
Yeah, no, it's been run into the dirt, and sales and all that shit are like down. It will probably get canceled by the end of the year in all regions other than China, where the Chinese devs actually came out and said, that's not us doing it. It's Sega. It's not us. We're still running the game in China.
Man, anytime we have a conversation like this where there's a game with content and then the production filter that's put in front of the content for how it's drip fed to you or how to make you feel about your ability to access it, that is just slimes up the entire process here, is the most disgusting feeling shit ever, dude.
Yes, Sega's like, oh, we got you. Let's get the gacha money. And instead of getting like 5 to 10 years of incredibly good gacha money from gambling addicts, they're going to burn their entire audience out in every country in the world other than China in like 6 months.
But is it that Bobby Kotick school of like burn it fast, hot, and while you got it?
No, it's not. It's Sega's school of, oh, how's it go? Now that we've killed the golden goose. Well, how's it go?
Cutting the golden goose open to get the eggs faster.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant. Well, that's Bobby.
Now that we have these golden eggs, we don't have to worry about that goose anymore.
Okay, well, the Kotick school is the, like, we know that Guitar Hero has like minutes on the clock, so let's make 5 more of them to make people get extra sick and squeeze every drop of blood out of the stone.
See, that's slightly different because at least those are separate things and you're saturating the market. Mm-hmm. This one is like you're basically demanding that they pay you everything they have up front today. Like, this is like if Guitar Hero came out with 6 games in 2 months and said, give it to us all now.
It's just crazy how like the actual game itself has no part in this conversation whatsoever.
None. Monetization's important. How people actually spend money on their dollars in their video games. I saw a stat today that the average person in the U.S. spends $325 on video games a year, and 50% of that is microtransactions.
Oh, what? Huh.
So at 170, that's 2 games.
Hold up. Is that also factoring in a upfront console purchase average, if that's a part of it at all? Or is this just not including consoles, just...
I believe that is just in general.
Okay.
North American players spend an average of $325 on gaming annually, accounting for 28% of global spending.
Okay. So yeah, that's probably phone only or Steam only, and
for consoles,
and half is micro.
For consoles, if it's 325, split that in two, you got like what, 160? You know what that is? Call of Duty, Madden, plus cards and skins,
or Super Robot Wars with the extra sounds and music.
I don't think that represents a piece of this pie chart enough to show. Oh yes, and the Fortnite, yeah.
Oh man, right. Getting those Power Rangers going.
Though there is a stat, and this is from like the late 90s, early aughts. So it may have changed up until then.
Oh,
but I remember it was going around.
That's a fucking eon ago.
Yeah, well, the core of it is a value, which is that approximately 10% of all game players represent 40% of all income in the games business.
Yeah, sure, whales, I believe, and
like you and me are doing our fair share.
And even not whale, but like overall. Yeah,
enthusiast is the word you're looking for.
Sure. Monetizing the few, attracting the many. 100. Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Enthusiasm.
But I'd love to see what that turns into with the current state of gacha games and such like that. I saw like there was a thread on Steam community that was like gacha game player chart, like it was just comparing all the rates, and essentially
I believe it's like 5% whales and like 90% free players.
That's higher than I thought. I would have put whales lower than that.
I think it is like a 1 in 10 are paying for the 9 in 10 situation for most gacha games.
I would have put whales below 2 if you asked me. Yeah, that even then, you know.
Well, whale has like a range, right?
Yes.
What do you consider a whale? Do you consider a Saudi prince putting in 40K into Zenless Zone Zero a whale? Yeah, obviously. Do you consider...
So is $40 to 40,000 the dolphin then? Is that the mid range? You know?
Yeah. It's a very strange business.
I saw a thread that was basically like it was for people who wanted to play a gacha game, but didn't care what, and just wanted to know which had the best odds on it, kind of thing. And I was like, whoa, we're breaking it down like that. If you're just,
that's weird.
It was just percentages and things like for like, oh, if you wanted this week, this event, this thing's going, jump in over here if you want to get the best feeling pulls on this thing.
That's fucking weird.
Also, I guess this is my first time seeing something like this where there's like, hey, roll here to get Dante, roll here to get Virgil.
Right.
And then, but then here's roll here to get Fate Dante or Fate Virgil. And I was like, what's the deal with that? And it's like, it's the same thing. And when you click on them, it's the same thing. It's just the color changes a little bit. And then like Googling it, it seems like it's, whereas the normal version has a pity threshold you hit and then you get it after however many, right? The Fate version gives you, instead of a 0.5 chance to get like an S rank, and then a pity threshold far further in, you have a like 1.5 chance to get that S rank, but after the 80% threshold or so, you are not guaranteed the pity. The pity just increases the chance of getting the S rank, but you can potentially go through an entire range of pity pulls and never get the actual pity.
I bet you there are nerds who have run the math on this and discovered that it is a massive scam.
Absolutely. It turns out it's a complete scam. Because you have
even under the context of this scam, it's an even bigger scam.
It is insurance when you're at the dealer's table and you're about to watch them get blackjack and they're going, you want to put more money down? You want to lose a little bit more? Insurance? Anybody? You know? 100%. You're buying chance from the future and pulling it forward to the front. But when chance fails you, you get fucked even harder, because now that guarantee is no longer a guarantee, which means you can spend all that money or all those points and get nothing for it. And too bad, go home. You know? Absolute fucking crazy scam options there. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. Also try, I think, what was the other character? Lucia Crimson Weave is what I wrote down here, which is another one of them. He's doing judgment cuts. It's stylish. It's cool. But this isn't a game too as well, where like I think people were saying like, yeah, like 2B came in, and then it took years for another shot at it, and then there was a there was a BlackRock shooter guest character that only came once and never showed up again. So yeah, with all these things, it's like try it now or forever hold your peace, you know?
No, I have to give up. I have to get away. I can't do it. Can't do it. My brain won't allow it. It makes me sick and miserable.
Even if you don't, like if you mash the skip button, then you don't get the lock-in hooks that make you care, you know?
No. The point of a game like that is to see an inventory screen with every square filled.
But there's 18,000 inventory screens in these things. Like,
well, then I guess I shouldn't play it.
Damn.